Jmikola reporting live from the kitchen. It is a rainy Sunday afternoon here, and we've got a bevy of delectable items from the Riverview Jersey City Heights Farmers Market. Kudos to Now and Andy. They got us some bread and salt. I don't know how long they waited in line for this, but this was a portion, and I want to say it's about 25% of the eggplant. It looks like it's got Cynthia, the quote said, funky cheese. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I mean, they have access to a lot of cheeses up there, but we'll see what that is. And some, it looks like some confit tomatoes, some little grape tomatoes there. So we're gonna bite into that. Also the mortadella sandwich, and this is also similar. I think you can get something similar to this from, is it Prato Bakery? What's the one over on 2nd and Washington? Prato, maybe? They're over from downtown Jersey City?
Yeah.
Prato. So they do these as well. This is a, I want to say like a Florence? Who does these kind of sandwiches?
I think so.
Florence, maybe? And then the name is escaping me, but they're over in, of all places, near the Times Square area. And that is an excellent sandwich shop. I'll put the name of that in the director's notes. So we've got this. I'm going to bite into this in a second. And now also stop by Buey, Uptown Buey. They've got, do you know they have a filling station? So you can buy soaps and lotions and stuff and detergent without filling up. We saw this when we were, I want to say, over in Auckland. In a few years, pre-COVID times, and there was like a filling store where you can just like go in with your own containers and fill up soap. So they have that in the back of Buey, in the Uptown location where they used to have books. It used to be a little city bookstore. Now they got some other products. If you need like Momofuku ramen, and I just heard Sambar's closing and never got a chance to try the pig roast there. Didn't get a big party together. But anyway, if you're up in Buey, take a round over by the bathrooms and check out some of the cool products they have there. And this is their fall, I'm a sucker for seasonal menus, that should come to no surprise to anyone. This is basically a pumpkin spice latte on steroids, and now it's reminding me of the John Oliver, the writer's strike I guess is still going on, so we've got no John Oliver for the past few months. I don't know what I've been doing with my life, that's probably why I'm recording so many of these episodes. Did I mention this might be a double shot? I'm pretty hopped up on coffee right now. But we're going to start off with these things. Cynthia picked up some lovely grape tomatoes, and you got to watch out for these guys because even if they are fresh, sometimes the guys on the bottom, a little bit too much pressure, they'll stop popping. So just keep an eye on these. If you do, I like to use a clear bowl so you don't get any surprises down there. Just check on them every few days. Also, shout out to Buey. I accidentally sliced my finger using, and I guess this is a good, this would be a product recommendation here. This is the OXO Good Grips. And it was a good grip. I didn't drop it or anything. This is a vegetable peeler, and I was just slicing some carrots and just right off the tip of the index finger there. And use some new skin. Once I got the bleeding control, new skin, they're really stinky. It's like nail polish you put on. That's great when you can't get a Band-Aid around it. But it opened up again while I was in the coffee shop, and I'm holding like these napkins to it, asking for paper towel. And they actually had a first aid kit. So that is good to know if you're there and need it for yourself or for a kid or whatever. Don't be afraid to ask for Band-Aids. So we're going to start off here with the eggplant, and then I'll move on to some other things from the farmer's market. But oh yeah, it's just kind of funky. I see what you're saying here. A taleggio maybe? I'm gonna go look this up. This is definitely there's a little funk here. A sizable eggplant. Talking to Zeno's guy, and he somehow has some relation to the bread and salt folks. And I believe they don't use gas. There was a kerfuffle when they were renting the space, and with the electrics. So I think it's all electric ovens there. And you might wonder like why these places like Scram downtown Jersey City is open for like such little hours during the week. And then bread and salt is I think just 3 days a week. And it's actually all the prep work that goes into making all the bread and everything. They just can't pump out more food. It's not like if they could be open longer, they would, but at the quantities that they're selling, that's just, it takes that much effort to proof the bread and everything like that. This is a really good sandwich, really good eggplant. I wouldn't even call it eggplant parm. This is just pecorino. That's pecorino?
Yeah.
How did they melt it like that? That's really awesome.
And cherry tomato sauce.
The tomato. Are you sure this isn't just what they were doing today? Is that the real menu?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that looks like a coat. What are you looking at there? Are you shopping? All right, you're entitled. Okay. So we also have the mortadella here. And Cynthia actually already cut this for me, portioned it out. So this is good. It looks like, I don't know if this is homemade mortadella. They do have a partnership with, I believe Corto uses as well for the charcuterie, and Zeno certainly for some of their stuff, as well as the pepperoni fried rice. One of the other establishments is a salumeria, I believe, and they just make salamis and meats. Really good mortadella. And it's really, I don't think there's any cheese on this. Just a little bit of olive oil. The bread, there's a little salt. Bread and salt. That's why they call it that. That's good. These are both excellent. I'll come back to these in a little bit. This right here is a Mercer brand. I needed a bread knife because if you don't have sharp knives, you will cut yourself. I know that doesn't, and I never understood that in my early years in the kitchen, but I definitely understand it now. This is a very good serrated knife, and if you need knife sharpening, even for serrated knives, Matt Gochek was up in the Ruby Farmers Market, I don't want to say like last week, and he was getting some knives sharpened. And there's a little guy that has a booth there, and you just go there, drop off your knives, come back maybe like a half hour, and your knives are all sharpened. And it's then you don't have to buy new knives. I mean, you can try and sharpen it yourself, but that's good. I'm digressing here. What was I going for? Also, oh yes, sorry. The star of the show. Those of us that have been with us, viewers for a while here, might the name Riggs Provisions will no doubt be familiar. And last year, this is just the La Halle. I want to say this is the Anthony Bourdain restaurant. Probably, maybe it's that recipe, French onion soup. This is still frozen, so we're gonna come back to this. But the Tomb. So we got Tomb last year, and this is a Lebanese garlic spread. Ingredients here, just oil, garlic, lemon juice, kosher salt. They made this last year in the middle of the summer. Didn't come together, and she warned me, and I knew, and I tried to save it at home. It did not work out. But this one has a lovely, this is the consistency you want. This kind of, like, it jiggles. It should jiggle like a nice little Jello. This is basically garlic Jello. There's no gelatin in this. But let's, oh, that's fine consistency. So when I saw that they still had this, and thankfully it was raining today. So I ran up to pick up Cynthia, and I asked them, I said, do you have any tomb left? They're like, yes, we actually have some, because some of the other things Cynthia bought, they were the last ones. And I said, good tomb needs good pita. And so I just realized Yuki's just expanded. And this is down by the Monroe Center. So now they're taking over two little, I think there was a bridal store next door or something like that. And this is just little pitas, and these were hopefully made fresh this morning. And I just want to try these with it. With the two, we usually get our pita from Patterson. Big fan of like Nori's, and there's another brand. And we grew up having Nori's pita. And now Nori's, they basically own the whole block on Main Street over in Patterson. But they've got a lot of products there. Big fan of the bigger pita. I want to say like the Lebanese or the Syrian pita that's very thin. This is a different kind of consistency pita. This is this a pocket pita? It is still a pocket pita. Okay. The other ones I get are pocket pitas. This is definitely more sizable. So the other pocket pitas we use, the Nori's one's very thin. We use that for kebabs and things like that. But this, I just want to rip off a little bit of it and try it with the tomb. And the freshness here is, you want like a good base to experience this tomb. I mean, I've had it on a saltine cracker before, but that's not quite the same as the way it was intended to be had. That is excellent. I've been waiting a year to have this. Would you like some? Okay. This is just really good. This tomb is gonna, like, you could not eat this in one sitting. You'd be sick to your stomach, but in small doses here, it is a delight. And we've got, even from a few weeks ago, I didn't get around to it, but always be prepared. We still have some of their buffalo chicken dip. That's just hanging out in the freezer there, and this will be great. This is a roasted chicken, cream cheese, blue cheese dressing, hot sauce, blue cheese, and Worcestershire, gluten-free. So that's still hanging out there. It's good to have some Riggs stuff on hand. You don't know when you're gonna want to pop into the refrigerator or just heat something up in the oven, or like sack. All right, this is great. Now, tomorrow, preschool started this week. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. And preschool is, I mean, it's good. I mean, like public preschool, we grew up that. I actually went to a private, I'm gonna say, what's it, Grove Hill, over in Clifton, right behind a funeral parlor, right there by Route 46. It was also where my pediatrician was. And there's some old family videos that I'm trying to extract from my aunt, if I can get those, of where I was in a relay race and I kept shuffling around. I was trying to make Lebanese rice yesterday, and we used bean noodles, I want to say. Some vermicelli noodles that would normally go in hot pot. That was not what I should have been using. The rice still came out okay, but now these things, I was trying to cut these with a knife. Even this knife just didn't get through these noodles. And so I'm going to be finding these noodles for the next 6 months in this kitchen. Now, anyway, Grove Elementary, and then kindergarten. That's where I met Paul Pacheco, and I think Pratik was probably first grade. And that was over in Passaic. and I want to say there was it was probably, my parents probably appreciated there was pre-K. So I appreciate that there was pre-K. Getting a kid to school at 8:25 in the morning, every day on time, regularly, and making it's a struggle. Okay, it is a struggle for parents to do this. I don't know how you guys do this. Bless you. It takes patience and commitment. That's all I have to say. But it is time to prepare the lunch for tomorrow. So one of the things that we can do is do the lunch in advance. So what you don't want to do is you got to be out the door in 20 minutes and you still are trying to put lunch together. And now something can be said about getting school lunches. They do offer that, and it's like, I want to say that like the full price is maybe like $5 a day or something like that. But it's as good as you might expect for $5. And certainly I think at the older grades, the school lunch has really taken a hit. When we were in Taiwan, they had a little chef there, and not a little chef, it was an actual chef. They were making food for the kids, and the kids were eating out of these lovely little bowls with their little chopsticks. Probably like these, like the little trainers here with a little Snoopy, and you could get your fingers there. My mom might also need these if she wanted to use chopsticks. But they were those are good meals, and it's like really fresh food. But I mean, you've seen the Jamie Oliver stuff. You've seen like school lunches across the board they're inconsistent depending where you are. And so if you have the time to put effort into what your kid's eating, then by all means do so. And so we're gonna just prep a lunch right now for tomorrow to hopefully make my morning a little bit easier. And we do have some more of this mortadella sandwich, and I don't want to give her too much. I want to give her some of the meaty portion here. So let's see, we could size this out. And the problem is now, when she comes home and you realize she has not eaten the lunch that you have so diligently prepared for her, don't take that as a hit. Don't take that as an emotional hit, because like that's not the child communicating to you that they think your preparation is rubbish. Maybe they got distracted. Maybe they had too many goldfish crackers or something like that. So we're gonna have a little bit of sandwich, and now some of these lovely grape tomatoes. Let's just try one of these. See how these guys are. Lovely tomatoes, excellent tomatoes. We got a mix here. I could screw around and give her one of these big egg-shaped ones. Maybe I will. Maybe she'll open her lunch tomorrow and be like, what did Daddy give me? Okay, so we're gonna do 4 tomatoes here. Do one big guy. And I love grape tomatoes, cut up, carrots. These are great snacks. So I'm gonna put the big guy. Does that fit right in the middle there? If I close that, it might. It might actually fit there. That would be really adorable if I could fit that just right there. 2 little guys right there. And let's get some carrots as well. Carrots are great. They're crunchy. I've seen some of because we get the photos on Class Dojo, and you see some of the other snacks that the other kids are getting. And some of these parents are going crazy with the snack. Like these kids are having full meals, I want to say, at the 9 a.m. snack time, which is more than I would expect. But for snack time, we usually, the That's It bars from Costco. This is just basically like an apple base with strawberry, mango, or blueberry. And maybe there's a little allergy there. Sometimes she gets a little mustache when she eats mangoes, which I think is adorable. There's no actual negative effects that we can tell other than the mustache. So I'm comfortable giving her the mango. But she likes these things. Pretzels, wasn't a fan. She didn't like the Chex Mix. Throw some carrots in there. The other great thing about carrots, if you have a dog and he's kind of resisting the dry food, we're on Hill's Science Diet. Milo is 15 years old, and there's times when he just doesn't want to eat his food. And so chopping up carrots, having those at the ready, that's great for him as well. What you don't want to have when you have a dog at home is any kind of grape products. So raisins, grapes, these will kill your dog. Now, if you're trying to kill other dogs, I guess I'm not going to endorse that on this program. Oh man, these are really good. There we go. But if we're going to school, it is a nut-free zone. So you can't do that, but school is also a dog-free zone. So grape products, go nuts. If you have raisins and stuff you want to give your kids, bring them along. These are great snacks for kids. So we're going to some grapes. And just throw these in here. These guys off here. And Emma definitely, like grapes, I have not seen grapes come back to us in the afternoon. So grapes, if I give her grapes, I'm pretty confident that she will eat these grapes. And sometimes when you come back, I try to pack, like there's some foods, like there's carrots, and those are sitting in her lunchbox all day, I will eat those. If it's like the main course and it's like the sandwich or the meat or something like that, I'm not going to touch that. I know better. I'll set myself up for a bad time. But this will be pretty good. And this is, now I'm going to call this the grape special here because we got a lot of little grape tomatoes. And let me just try one of these guys. delicious, delicious grapes. These all fit. And Hari recently asked for some lunchbox recommendations. This is, oh dear. I think I just popped the tomato there. Did I pop this tomato? No, I think it's still okay. All right, be careful with this. This is the Bent Go, and we previously had the Planet Box. It's up here somewhere. Say it's in this box, maybe. This is the Planet Box Rover. We were using this a little bit over the summer. This guy's pretty good. Really, this is all metal design. So you can see this guy. And it comes with these little, we're actually using this to store pine nuts when I was making Lebanese rice. But it comes with these little metal containers here. And these, this you could put in here, but we actually would just use this on the side for snacks. But it also comes with these little silicone cups, and these kind of fit in here nicely too. You can stack these around. I was a fan of this. I don't know where Cynthia found this. It is not leak proof, I will say, but this is a good size if you have like a square piece of white bread for sandwiches. And it comes with these lively little stickers here. You can slap these guys on like this, and it just so you can customize it. I think there's dogs, and there's another one that's some turtles or some fish scenes. Kind of leave those on the side of our fridge. Anyway, this was good for the summer, but with the lunch boxes, they do tend to take a tumble. So we definitely wanted something with a little bit of a seal, and so this is where the Bengo comes in. And then boom, this is in here. You can flip it around, and I wouldn't advise putting soup in here, but you see everything stays pretty good. And so this will be enough for a sandwich. I'll probably top this off tomorrow. I'll find some way to incorporate maybe some goldfish crackers or something else in here, and maybe give it a little bit on the side so she has a little bit extra there. Perhaps some eggplant. But this is basically ready. This is going to probably save me about 15 minutes tomorrow morning. Just with the fuss of things in the morning, I'd be going nuts. So thank you, future self, or future self thanks me. Oh, we still have a curry bun in there. Okay. So that's about that. And there's one last thing I want to end with here before we go. Speaking of school lunches, so as a kid, my mom packed lunch, and I think Paul Pacheco the same. I remember he used to have two thermoses. One had milk in it, one had like SpaghettiOs, and then his mom would maybe put like a polio string cheese. Marge Pacheco would put that right in between, and he had basically like one of these things. This was kind of like his lunchbox, and that was really cool. Also, I want to say I thank all the Indian kids in Jefferson School. I would trade my snacks, like my mom would send me to school with something like this, and I would trade it for their homemade hot mix. And so that was a experience of I was just craving like more interesting snacks, even like trading with something prized like a Polly or a Handy Snacks. Those kids that had Lunchables as a kid, and you had the square Lunchables that had like the meat, the cheese, the cracker. And then there were some kids that had the small trays, and those were flatter, and they had the bigger fold-out meats. And I think Sean Faulkner might have had those once or twice. And then Kevin Taruya actually one time brought a jalapeno pepper out of his pocket, and we ate that around the lunch table in the Jefferson School lunchroom, and that was crazy. As well as there was so much interesting there. I think the lunch ladies, they really did their jobs. They were fantastic, and I'm not gendering here, but I think they were all actual ladies. And it was just such an experience. I never got to partake in actual school lunch until high school, when I would go sometimes by at the Passaic High School, the burger bar had stuff, and then even just going to the regular lunch line was an experience for me. So that was all very interesting. I don't want to deprive Emma of that, so I'd like to give her some school lunch experience. Maybe she'll like it, maybe not, and that's fine. But I don't want to make the decision for her. Let her find out what she likes and not likes. And lastly, a shout out as well to Little Dove, and this used to be, I want to say Congress Station, maybe. There was another name for this coffee shop where I used to go. What is this? Oh, this is the Danish you were talking about. Okay, we're going to set that aside. This is a leftover of Cynthia's breakfast sandwich here. What is this? This is the upgrade egg sandwich with a brioche bun, non-toasted, very specific here, with sausage. Okay, and direct from the kitchen printer, 9:26 a.m. This has been sitting out for a little while, but I don't think we're in the danger zone here. So I'm a big fan of their breakfast sandwiches. I usually, get these things on a croissant is delicious. I'm gonna take a little bite here. And this has been sitting out for a little bit, but the upgrade egg sandwich, even the regular one, I think the upgrade has a little bit of caramelized onion on it, and the cheese here. Still has all the flavor, but even though the texture is not there. Very good choice. Okay, so this is we're gonna pack this up. This was probably gonna be fine for tomorrow, and I'm gonna back to these guys, and we'll just compost this. And I think that's a wrap. So I'm gonna clean up here, get to that, and we're in the middle of afternoon nap time. So if I have any time, I'll get back to Zelda. I was falling off the cliff the other night, and I didn't make it much further. But I'm on that part with the fish people. I'm trying to clean up all the sludge, and I need to find these little like water splash fruits with that bow and arrow. So that's going to be my whole afternoon, is just cleaning up mud. So I hope yours is better. And this is Jmikola reporting live from the kitchen with a whole bunch of stuff that I probably all forgotten about. But have a great weekend. Bye-bye.